Okay, we're going to call our regular council meeting to order, Monday, January 5th, 2026, 5 p.m. Request you turn your cell phones off or silence them. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Edelman?
Here.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Here.
Commissioner Morris?
Here.
Commissioner Prentice?
Here.
Mayor Fitzgerald?
Here, stand and say the pledge of allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Remain standing. Dan?
Is it a break today?
Mr. Dan.
Be my guest. If I haven't met you, I'm Pastor Dan Herman. I'm the chaplain here, I guess, since 8 years, perhaps, Chief. So I want to bow your heads and hearts. So good and gracious God, you've given to us another day of life, and we've used it the way we wanted. But we ask that throughout the hours of this day, we have been able to look and see your face and understand your presence, and we've been able to share that same presence and the same grace with the Lord around us. We have special business tonight with the swearing in of a new chief. We ask you to bless him in all of his endeavors, that you may bless the hard work and the good work of the fire department, police department, and all of our services here in South Beloit. Watch over us and guide us in our conversations and in our lives. Amen. Amen.
Okay. Get a approval agenda. Get a motion.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Okay, public comment. You got public comment? Just please stand, give your name, raise your hand. No comments? Okay, moving on. I'm gonna got a couple things to say here. It's more informational than anything. 2025 was a very good year for South Beloit, city of South Beloit. Couple bumps in the road, but no roadblocks. Well, completion of the Garden Hotel, and including the ownership, we took over ownership of it. The Besley building is going down, and we've partnered with Beloit 200 to generate a feasibility study for the Garden Hotel in that area. The city approved the first strategic plan, the capital improvement project, lift station number 1, that'll be over on South Bluff. We're working on that. We got the land for it. We partnered with the Illinois Fire Chiefs Association to get a fire staffing study, which come back and which ended up with Fire Chiefs Association search, which we ended up finding our chief. We'll discuss that later. Police pension right now is at 81.81%. Fire pension actually is at over 100%. So we're doing great on that. Transition for the new financial system. We use Tyler Technologies. The new has helped us out with almost every facet of our record keeping and everything else. Our many facility improvements, Donner Drive, the parking lot, we expanded that parking lot down there. Police department had many grants, the $43,000 worth of grants, had them secured for us, and the fire department had another 1,000. Partnered with Craftsmen of Character, which is summer staff where young people come here and work during the summer, and we get the idea of how to run city staffing and that. RBI funds expanded Manchester Road project, that's out there by the new Quick Trip, Quick Star. Improvement cleanup efforts continue and take strides. We took 3 fuel tanks out of property on Sherland and 2 leaking fuel tanks out of property down here on Blackhawk. Massive undertaking of documents, destruction, retention. We had hundreds of boxes of documents that were all paper, but and our staff took them and put them all on file now with digital and filing. And we got an IGA with Rockland Fire District for use of the repeat frequency of improved dispatching services. We had 3 new businesses open up. Ross Robertson, we declared him a day, and right now in northern Michigan, I guess they're on a 12-game winning streak right now, so they're doing really well. New construction, Manchester Trails, 19 single families, a duplex and multifamily. Yellowstone, 13 single families and 4 commercial buildings. We annexed Jack Tire and Buff City, which is next to it. And our code enforcement consistency, quality of municipal code enforcement. We hired a firm out of that takes care of that now. We went through 7 or 8 different code enforcement officers in a matter of 6 years. In addition, we had 2 murals put up, one over here, building next to us, and then down at the Confluence Center. And street sweeper was one of our larger purchases, which $400,000 we paid for that, and it's brand new. And with our additional 1% sales tax, will put us over $1 million. We'll add that with our MFT funds, and we'll have 1.4 million to put into the roads this year. And none of this would be possible without our staff and department heads and people on the boards and that. And like Don's been our financial man for as long as I've been here, and a farmer who knows how to take care of the dollar really well. And Shauna, she's worked 2 or 3 different jobs here. I don't know what job you're working today, but she's not only that being in code, but she's also takes care of our development and been a star in court for many times, representing South Beloit. And Jeff, which Jeff is not here right now, and he's another farmer that takes care of the dollar, and he's taking care of our $36 million sewage plant. And
State wastewater operator of the year.
was he? I did not know that. Oh, yeah, we should brought that up. Okay, thank you. Jeff and Steve is not here. He's sick tonight too. Steve, he's done many things since he's got here. He started many projects. He's been able to fix and repair almost everything that's been busted or wears out. Plus, he put in a new CDL. He took over that. He runs his own. He gives his own CDL license out, which saves thousands of dollars when it comes to all the Fords there. And Brandon, which is with Fair Graham, they come here and we got him here a couple days a week. Well, not now, but we got Derek?
Derek, yep.
Yeah, but he's here now. But been with us doing that. Chief, you'll get your chance too. But Adam is he's worked with short staff for almost a full year, with people being in on deployment, and plus we have new officers and doing an excellent job. Tracy, as usual, she's been the rock, has always been here forever. Jennifer's always been helping us up there and doing real well. Come right into that job and sat right down and doing a great job. Sonia, which is irreplaceable. I think South Beloit has been very lucky to ever hire her, because brought all this together, and we have been nothing but growing since that time. And I appreciate all that, and our attorneys and their staff. You guys have helped us out. But none of this, like I say, would be possible without everybody working together as a team. And we had a very good 2025, and we look forward to 2026 and the council too. Courtney and Kenny, and Ryan and Brian, we made some tough decisions this year, and we probably have another year of them before we're done. But I'd like to thank everybody for that. And moving on. All right, we get approval of the minutes. We get a motion for approval of the minutes for December 15, 2025, and approval of the minutes for the public hearing held on December 15, 2025. Get a motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Report of officers, finance for pay the claims from December 13, 2025 to January 2nd, 2026 for the amount of
$563,251.97. Motion.
Second.
Tracy, please.
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Morris?
Yes.
Commissioner Prentice?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes, attorney's report.
None tonight.
I forgot to mention, sorry about this, about the people on our boards that work, like police and fire board and our zoning board and our park board. The people that they don't get paid for anything to be there, and they put in many hours, and they are the backbone on a lot of stuff that goes on around here. And I failed to mention them, and I'm sorry about that. But, okay, no return report?
No.
Okay, Sonia, what do you got?
Yeah, Mayor, it's hard to top all of the accomplishments and the thanks for the staff, but I'll just second that. It has been a really good year. We're really grateful both ways. The five of you continue to allow our staff to grow and do any training that we feel is beneficial for our city. So definitely appreciate both ends of the spectrum here. It's been an honor and a privilege. I think everyone would agree. And then we will just get right into, you'll present Rob, but I do want to say that these boards, these volunteer boards, are often thankless. A lot of times people don't even know they exist. Rob has helped the city in a lot of different ways. Wherever there was a gap, he has always kind of filled that in. So we certainly appreciate that, and we want to do a better job of thanking people who volunteer to serve on these boards. So it is our pleasure tonight to thank Rob, and I'll let you take it from there, Mayor, but got a couple things up there.
Okay, Rob, I know you've been on this board for Police and Fire Board since, I believe, July of 2021. Please come up. I want to.
Hey, bud.
Appreciate it. Here, we got a small plaque, poking Rob McLean, in recognition of your dedicated service to the City of South Beloit Board of Fire and Police Commission. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Welcome aboard, buddy. Hey, buddy. Keep active.
Okay. We do appreciate it, Rob. Okay, now new business. Or not new business, yeah, it is new business, I guess. Swearing in of our new chief of fire department, Scott Fisher. Would you present Scott? Could you come up, please, Scott? Tracy will handle all this.
In the middle.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Scott Fisher,
I, Scott Fisher,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Code of Ordinances
the Code of
of
Ordinances
the City of South Beloit,
of the City of South Beloit,
the rules and regulations,
the rules and regulations,
practices and procedures
practices and procedures
of the South Beloit Fire Department,
of the South Beloit Fire Department,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of a fire chief
the duties of a fire chief
of the City of South Beloit
of the City of South Beloit
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
You have anybody here to take pictures with? Welcome aboard. We welcome our new chief. All right, thank you, Chief. Welcome aboard for many years. Okay, B, discuss approve ordinance 2894, approving variance of the required rear yard setback from 30 feet down to 20 feet for the property commonly known as 325 Oakland Avenue, South Beloit, Illinois, Winnebago County, PIN number 0407-212-007. We got a positive recommendation from the zoning board. Can we get a motion, please?
Second.
All in favor, right?
Ordinance.
Oh, shit.
Commissioner
Boy.
Edelman?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Morris?
Yes.
Commissioner Prentice?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes, this was about a house that didn't have a backyard, to moving the garage from one side to the other and all that, but it's to help them out. Discuss approve ordinance 2895, amending section 10, base district intent, regulation and use, and chapter of 118 zoning regarding allowance of auto-related uses of a special use in the commercial retail CR zoning district. Motion, please.
So moved. Second.
This was about, I asked Sean about this because I was kind of confused why we're doing this, but this was omitted in our rewrite of our code rewrite. They left out commercial residential district, so we're putting that in there so that covers all the filling stations and what have you. Okay. Okay, Tracy, please.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Morris?
Yes.
Commissioner Prentice?
Yes.
Commissioner Edelman?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes, discuss approve resolution 633 awarding proposal and approving an agreement with Geocon Professional Service LLC for soil boring among various streets within the city of South Beloit. Motion, please.
Motion. Second.
Okay, this is for our new work going to be done, right?
Yeah, we can touch on this one quickly, Mayor, if you want to.
Brandon?
Yep, absolutely. So, obviously, it's on your agenda a little bit later, but city staff and the council have identified the road areas that we want to improve as part of the 2026 construction projects, both MFT and local funding. The first step of that is getting pavement cores completed, so we know how much, soil, aggregate base, and pavement depth that we're working with. It will also tell us the condition of those, which will then help Fairgreen refine our design and come back to you guys with very accurate cost estimates based on the proposed scope. Let you know if there's anything of concern that we need to be thinking of. But unless we get back some poor results, which fingers crossed we do not, this is basically just going to substantiate our preliminary scoping that we have done for the roadway projects. So Geocon Professional Services, there's a company that Fairgreen uses fairly often. We had the city actually coordinate getting contracted with them directly to help save some of those costs, and I believe that Geocon is proposing to get us the report back on those within 4 weeks of authorization. So it should be full speed ahead.
I just have one question. The Misty Meadows is on there, right? We've already done some work. We just need to finish that work.
Correct.
Why do core samples there? We know we're already going to do the work.
Yep, so the reason being is when subdivisions are built, there's numerous plats, and they are not constructed the same way every single time. In theory, yes, they should be. The city standards have always been the same. I can tell you firsthand experience in, actually in South Beloit and Roscoe, you will drive a road, there'll be a seam in the pavement, and then that's where the next plat had picked up, and you will get two different asphalt thicknesses in those two sections. So we did, after talking with Sonia, Fairgreen actually was proposing numerous more locations. After some talking, we reviewed the old paper course from the other section. We said, okay, we can cut this down, help save some costs a little bit. But this is at least the bare minimum for us to feel comfortable about the preliminary scope.
And I'm assuming, correct me, but I'm assuming it helps give the estimate a little bit more accuracy as well.
Correct, 100%. Yep, and that way we're not just waiting for bidding time. That way we will be able to refine that even before we start the design and tell the city, yep, based on our preliminary understanding, we're okay here. Or if we get pavement cores back, we shouldn't in the Misty Meadows subdivision, but say the downtown area, the Wheeler House, if we come back and we see a road that has 2 inches of stone base, well, we might need to actually pivot and not be able to just resurface that road. We might need to start planning for reconstruction, and then at that point we can start refining the scopes of the intended projects and move forward with what you guys would like to see.
If we have let's say you have that happen, will you skip that road this year and then come back and do it?
Probably that is what
That's
we would
what-
recommend, yeah, because there would be some, actually quite a bit of additional design that would be required. Then at that point, you're looking at all the underground, storm sewer, sanitary
Right.
sewer, things like that. So yeah, that's probably what we would recommend just to keep the project moving, be able to still bid it in the spring.
All right,
I just have to remind residents too, when the state comes through to update our stretch of Highway 2, this has been something that they've been working on for 15 years. So in a perfect world, you have a lot of time to engineer, to acquire property. If there's a turn lane that needs to be adjusted, there's all these things that go into years and years of preparing. And we have gotten into a bad habit of expecting our engineering team to turn a project around in a year.
No.
It puts us under the gun, and we know that these roads are in pretty bad shape. So that's why we're also doing so many. Brandon, can you talk to how much it usually costs us to do a summer's worth of projects, and why we're doing all these projects right now?
I don't have the numbers off the top of my head. I want to say that we're saving somewhere in the range of 40% by not advancing these pavement cores, one neighborhood by one neighborhood individually. The city is getting a substantial discount by doing a more exploratory. I think we're doing them over in the 8th Center and Rood area to plan for future projects as well. Those pavement cores will be good forever, unless the city decides to improve those roads on their own. That pavement section should stay the same. So this pavement core data that we're getting now, we'll be able to use that for the design, pretty much any time. So if the city can decide, yes, we're going to move forward with these roads, we got it. If they want to say, no, we're going to shelf that project, we can come back in 10 years and get that same data, and we don't have to do it again and reinvent it.
So having the 1% money for 5 years guarantees us that we're going to get to these programs. Normally, we would only be able to bite off one.
well, we'd only have around 400,000 to work with, but now we got $1.3 million or 4 by the time we get all done with this, so we should, in 5 years, there should be a lot of roads be looking pretty good. And I want to remind people too is, every time we start about talking about roads, everybody brings up Blackhawk and Gardner and 251. They're not our roads. Those are state roads. They own them, we patch them, that's all we do. And we can't do nothing unless we work with them to even patch them. We got to get the okays for everything. So I know the 1.4 million that we got to go on the roads will not go in out here. We'll be driving on them just like everybody else is until the state decides so that to step up and repave it and fix it the way they should do. But it's the way it is.
I also just want to point out, this, I think, at least points to me, the fostering responsibility, the responsibility of fostering the money that we've gotten from the state on this, on the 1% sales tax. This is showing that we're being responsible with it and have a plan in place on what we're going to do with these roads, and not just spend it willy-nilly on our best friend's cousin's street or whatever. We have an actual plan and putting that in place. So I think that is something to be recognized as well.
Yeah, I agree. Anybody else? Tracy, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, discuss approved resolution 6664, approving the master service agreement with InfoSend Inc. Is that right? Close enough? Motion? Who wants this?
I can do this one, Mayor.
Okay.
We have a 60-month lease for our postage machine and our envelope stuffing machine. This is only going to impact the machine that does our folding and stuffing of the envelopes. We will still have a renewal for 60-month lease for the postage machine. But the other machine, we are looking at removing it. InfoSend would outsource the printing and the stuffing and the mailing of our utility bills. If we were using this machine for more than one purpose outside of sewer utility billing, it probably would be a good use of space. But really, it saves us about $15,000 a year by outsourcing the printing and the stuffing. We had a cheat sheet in the packet, which basically kind of goes through each category and shows the difference between how much we spend and how much we would spend by outsourcing it. But the postage alone is a significant savings. Also, the machine jams a lot and has issues a lot. It's very loud. It's have going in City Hall during the day-to-day business hours. And it would save Jennifer at least 8 hours a month in standing at that machine, calling a tech and having them come out. So we did about 2 months ago ask Laura if she would dive into our agreement, make sure that we weren't doing anything early with Pitney Bowes for the machine, but once that lease is up in February, would you want to swap it out and start outsourcing our billing? Now that we have Tyler Technologies, this is one of those things that we are capable of doing. You know, some people have asked, why didn't we do this 60 months ago? But the truth is that maybe it would have not been possible unless we had the PDF version of the bills to be able to send to an outside company. They are based in Carroll Stream, I think, where there is a post office there. All of our mail, we bring our mail to the post office, goes to Carroll Stream, and then goes back out to our residents in South Beloit, which is kind of crazy. But in Carroll Stream, they actually have a postal worker, a United States postal worker, at their printing and publishing warehouse. So someone stands there, they get the tote filled, they bring it. We currently have Jeff come from the treatment plant, pick up 6 totes of mail, carry them to the post office. We have to get them there by 3:30 or that machine's done and it messes up the postage. It's all a mess. And honestly, we've been waiting for this 60-month renewal to come up so we could explore other options. But I'm just thrilled that we found one that's going to end up saving the city about $15,000 a year.
You know, they explained to me if you want to put a flyer in there, that you can add it to it, and
Yes.
it's no problem. So
I did have a question.
Yes.
We all know that the USPS is somewhat unreliable at times. I'm wondering, have we set up the ability for PDF or email sewer bills?
So we do have lots of different ways that people can receive their bills and pay their bills. They're all on the back side, right? Is that the back way, Jennifer? But also now, we have a lot of companies that people own rental properties, or in the mobile home park, one person gets the bills and the next month somebody else gets the bills. If people log in, they can send the email version of the bill to anyone that they want. We can add 100 emails in there so that everyone can have access to that. The other thing that Tyler has given us permission to do is, or the ability to do is, we can set up all these different flags in Tyler. So now, if we ever want to send a flyer home only to people who live inside city limits about open burning, fine, we can flag that. Whatever flags exist in Tyler, we can use those with InfoSend to send them out to just those people. So if we want to pick, if we had 14 zip codes, we could pick 2 zip codes and send something only to those people. Whatever flags exist in Tyler now for the future, this will give the city the option to make use of that technology.
Bill, Tracy, please.
Commissioner Prentice?
Yes.
Commissioner Edelman?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Morris?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes, discuss approve resolution 6665, approving a service proposed agreement with Fairgram to provide engineering services for 2026 street program, local funds portion. Motion, please.
Motion. Second.
Brandon?
Yep, absolutely.
Go ahead.
Okay, so, I apologize, this is the local funds for the fairground? Okay, so, I'll just do an overview of both of them, and then if more questions come up during the MFT side of things, I can answer those. But essentially, in your package, you should see a breakdown of a spreadsheet, an Excel document titled South Beloit 2026 Streets Program Preliminary Estimates of Cost. What that is a breakdown between our MFT project and our local funded with the 1 cent sales tax project. Due to the split funding sources for this upcoming year's project, IDOT specifically with MFT funds, we cannot incorporate local funding into an IDOT contract. So we had to split these up between 2. The Fairgram contract that is on your agenda for today is for the local portion of the project, which is basically all of the roads around the Wheeler House.
Let's name them, because this is fun, right?
Okay, perfect. So I will go through the list really quick. We have Lathrop Terrace, Hemingway Place, Montgomery Street, Caswell Street, Salmon Avenue, Solomon, I'm not sure how that's pronounced. Solomon. Allen Avenue, South Park Avenue, Wheeler Avenue, Washington Street, and Thompson Street. There are also maps that you guys will see in your packets. It is basically everything south of Washington Street, right just north of the Wheeler House, excluding Eastern Avenue. Obviously, we talked about that project. That's one that needs to be a full reconstruction. We're doing some sewer televising, things like that, so that is not included in this scope. But basically, all of the other roads around that area, we are including to be improved. It is a split. Again, in your maps, you will see there's both red and blue highlights. The red highlight is what we call a full depth reclamation. which is a process where the contractor will grind up the existing road, overlay it with new asphalt, and the grindings and the existing materials turn into new base material. We're doing all of that in the areas we do not have curb and gutter. Because we are elevating or increasing the road profile by 2 inches, if you have curb and gutter, obviously you're not just going to, well, you shouldn't lay the asphalt into the gutter. So we are proposing that scope on those roads that will really beef them up. And then on the blue highlighted areas, that is where we have curb and gutter, or what we call an urban cross section. We are proposing a mill and overlay, which is more of a standard process that we've done on some of the other roads, like over in the Hayes Avenue subdivision, or the Hayes Avenue area, and some of our other curb and gutter roads over the years. So the proposal for Fair Graham for doing the design of those roads is in front of you at a cost of $51,300. Again, that is all of the design. At this point, Fair Graham did not think it was conducive to include construction engineering services and materials testing services until we get bids back after the design. One, because we're waiting on pavement cores and we want to know exactly what we're designing, what we're moving forward on. But two, once we get bids opened as part of this project, we can then come back to the city based on the overall proposed bid cost and give you guys a more accurate number of what our engineering services would be. Otherwise, what we would do is we would take this preliminary estimate, generally around 6% of the overall cost for the construction observation needs. And if we end up getting bids 20% less, instead of having to go through and revise the agreement, we just thought, hey, let's just wait, go through the bidding process, and then we'll follow up with that. So what you have in front of you is simply the design engineering for the local streets, essentially. And the next item, under the MFT, you will see we've included everything all in. I can explain that when that item comes up. That is the quick 5-minute summary. So if you guys have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. But Fair Graham obviously thanks you guys for the opportunity to submit a proposal for this.
Okay, Tracy, please.
Commissioner Edelman?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Morris?
Yes.
Commissioner Prentice?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald?
And that'll be a yes. And here we go. Discuss approve resolution 6666, approving services proposed agreement with Fair Graham to provide engineering service for 2026 street program MFT funds portion. Motion.
So moved.
Second.
And go ahead.
All right, perfect.
Brandon.
So I'll try to shorten this one. Essentially, the roads that we are looking at doing, as we mentioned earlier, there is the rest of the Misty Meadows subdivision. About half of those roadways were improved as part of the 2023 project. We would like to come in, do the same exact scope, full depth reclamation, get those roads completed. That way, hopefully the city doesn't have to go back and touch those for another 15, 20 years. So those are the roads that we are doing. As far as what you have in your packet before you, you will see quite a few IDOT forms, 3 specifically. One is the resolution for maintenance under the Illinois Highway Code. That is the BLR 14220. Essentially, just like a local resolution, this is a resolution that the state requires when using MFT funds to basically say, here's the money that we expect to spend on this project in the upcoming year. So that is a total all-in cost of $698,350. There's another IDOT form titled the Local Public Agency General Maintenance Estimate of Maintenance Costs. That is BLR 14222. In that, you will see how we get that overall number of $698,350. Construction costs at this stage are estimated to be $610,000. The preliminary engineering design services, we are, just so you know, we are capped at 5% of the overall cost estimate of the project. That is $31,750. The engineering inspection, or the construction observation, we are capped at 6% of the preliminary estimate of cost. That is $36,600. And then materials testing, there's no cap for that, but what we've done is we've looked at past projects, came up with a budget amount that we feel is a safe number. We will then likely go through Geocon Professional Services, who's doing the pavement course for the project. And once we have a final set scope and we go out for bid, we will ask Geocon for a proposal for that. Just to let you know, this $20,000 for this, that is not something that we will bill unless it's obviously used. So that will only be billed based on what is actually submitted from Geocon. So the preliminary engineering is a lump sum approval to get the design completed. The engineering inspection or the construction observation is a time and materials. We will only use that if we need to. We always handle it in a part-time inspection basis. And then same with the materials testing, that is a time and materials service for that as well. So all in, all of those costs included $698,350. So then finally, the last form that you will, not sure what order they're in, I apologize, but you will also see the maintenance engineering to be performed by a consulting engineer, BLR 05520. That is just an IDOT version of the engineering agreement. We have to use their forms in order for us to utilize MFT funds. So overall, it's a resolution of allocating the money and allowing the city to spend the money for the MFT dollars. It is a breakdown of all the individual costs, estimate of maintenance costs, and then is the engineering design agreement.
That's before we put the road in?
I'm sorry?
That doesn't include the road?
No, that 698,000 will include all of those roads.
Okay.
Yeah, 610,000 of that is the actual construction costs.
Okay, all right, I wanted that,
Yeah, no, that is definitely not all
right.
engineering.
I was gonna say,
The reason that there was two different processes.
right, I just wanna make sure that everybody knows what we're talking about.
Yeah, IDOT requires that resolution to be their own when you're spending IDOT money. So we have the MFT
Sure.
chunk and then the section that we're gonna do with our 1%.
And I'm sorry, one more thing that I should add. So obviously these are preliminary estimates. If we get bids back and the costs come in lower than what is anticipated, there's nothing that we need to do. We can still move forward. At the end of the project, we will do what's called a final authorization change order that basically balances all of the money. We send that into IDOT and then they retroactively update the city's MFT records to say, no, we didn't spend $698,000, we spent $690,000. If we get bids back that are higher than that, the city will have to either consider reducing the scope or passing what's called a supplemental resolution, essentially, just like you're seeing here. But it's a supplement to say, hey, we don't want to reduce scope, but we do want to spend more MFT dollars to get this done. Or the option that you could fund it locally as well if you wanted to. So a couple different options there.
Pretty
Sorry,
slim,
I
pretty
said one
slim.
thing, but one other thing. Although we have two separate agreements for these projects, we will be bidding them together as one to get some better economies of scale. So that'll be something that Fairgrave just does in-house. We'll track our time accordingly for each project, but then when we go out for bid, we will have one unified plan set to get better pricing from the city.
Pretty slim chance of coming in under, isn't it?
We're usually pretty conservative with our estimates. We don't want to have to make the city, put everything to a halt, have to come back and approve additional monies. So yeah, we don't have a crystal ball. We're not really sure, but we do use usually the past at least previous 3 years worth of pricing, and that's how we develop our estimate. So we've got a pretty good tab on where contract pricing would fall.
Well, with this extra money that we're getting from the 1%, it's gonna cost us more for engineering because we're doing more business, we're doing more roads, and we're doing, so it's, sounds like a lot, which is, but it's something we have to do to get these roads done.
The roads have been neglected for as long as they
Yeah,
have.
and we're getting miles done now. For the last couple of years, we've really been going good, and this will really help out this 1%. Anybody else? Tracy, please.
Mr. Arrington?
Yes.
Commissioner Morris?
Yes.
Commissioner Prentice?
Yes.
Commissioner Edelman?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes, discuss approve awarding request for proposal for a strategic plan. Get a motion, please.
I can take this.
Yes, ma'am.
We are absolutely thrilled to be putting this on the agenda. We're going to try really hard to stay on track. I feel strongly that the council who supports funding a strategic plan should be here when the strategic plan kind of goes into action. So I'm going to work really hard to have this be our 2026 primary goal, to try to get this plan in place while the 5 of you are here, and let that get under your belt. But we had 6 proposals. They were all pretty similar in scope. We created a committee of 3 people for the review team. That consisted of Roxanne Cisnowski from our legal team and also Mandy Nelson, who helped with our retention and destruction process. She's been a part-time employee for us for the last year. So the 3 of us reviewed these. You have in your packet a summary of the 6 proposals that we received and how much their total proposal was. And then you also have in your packet a green score sheet that has all of our scores for each category, basically a blank template of how we scored strategic plans that came in. But we are and also they were the lowest responsive bid, with the exception of one who failed to include out-of-state travel costs. So we know that they would have ended up being the lowest responsive bid. So I'm happy to answer any questions about it, but basically this is a plan that for the first time the city is going to invest some energy into really putting benchmarks in place to help us achieve some of those overarching goals. It's really easy for me to do reviews every year of our department heads and tell them how great they're doing, but if it doesn't line up with where our city is trying to get to, it's almost kind of like, hey, good job guys, we're doing great because we said so. We want a plan, we want to get a pulse of all of our residents and get their priorities. We want to put those on paper. So this is a very thorough plan. It does include a lot of public involvement. So we'll do various types of outreach, but I don't know, I'm excited. Anybody who sits in this seat in the future is going to want some kind of plan. And I think the department heads that show up year after year after year and continue to pour their heart and soul into this place, they deserve to have some benchmarks before them and be able to hit those and know that they're doing a great job. So I am very appreciative of this. I know it's been a long time coming. We've been talking about it and kind of preparing for it, and so I think that for $28,000, the proposal from NIU is just under budget. I think we budgeted 30. Is that right, Don? Does that sound right? So we did have this penciled in as a capital project for this year. You remember that Beloit 200 came to us a couple months ago, wanted to do some feasibility studies. We could have either contributed more or gotten ourselves a plan to put on the shelves so that whoever replaces us in the future kind of has a roadmap where we're trying to go. So.
And that, most businesses, when they come to a city, they come down there and they ask you, what's your strategic plan? What do you guys want to do in the future? And this is once you get it in black and white where you say, hey, this is a guideline, that this is what we want. It helps these businesses when they look at us and say, well, yeah, they got what we want. They're moving in that direction. And this is, like you say, this is for down the road. This is to give us a roadmap on how to travel this year, and I think it's a good thing. I do.
I was really surprised when I came on the council that we didn't have one.
Yeah.
Several other boards and governing bodies I've been involved with, I was shocked that we didn't have one as a city.
Yeah, we've been fortunate to have elected leaders that kind of, grab the reins and take over. And usually people don't run for an elected seat unless they have some ideas that they want to try to implement for change and improvement. So I think this just kind of stabilizes the working force a little bit as elected leaders kind of come and go. This kind of gives you a roadmap. So it'll be nice to have something on paper for department heads at least.
We had one a few years back. We
So
did.
we had a comprehensive plan.
Comprehensive plan, which was kind of a strategic plan.
Yeah, in my opinion, your comprehensive plan kind of stays on the shelf.
Yeah.
It doesn't change a lot. Your land uses and your overarching demographics of the city don't change. But this is an action plan, and it really connects goals to baby steps and how you're going to get there. And over what amount of
Like
time.
you said, it's an action plan. It's a plan. This is how we're going to move forward in this. It's a very good deal. Anybody else? Tracy, please.
Commissioner Morse?
Yes.
Commissioner Prentice?
Yes.
Commissioner Edelman?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes, we get a motion to adjourn.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thanks, everybody. This was a good meeting. You did a good job.
43 minutes.
Welcome to 2026.